I love real estate.
We're in one of the nicest properties.
We're in a cool 8,000 square foot lodge that I love. I love it. I mean, I just can't tell you how happy I am when I'm here. And when people tell you that things can't make you happy, they're full of shit.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Build Your Own Economy podcast. Today's guest is a special guest. We have somebody who's been near and dear to me, who's helped me take my business, even helped me codify and develop the concept of build your own economy, if you can believe that or not. We have one of my coaches and mentors, Coach Micheal Burt, here today, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. If you're an aspiring coach, a high achiever, a high performer in the world, you're not going to want to miss this conversation. We talk about coaching, the need for what coaches have to think about before they go out into the marketplace and share their concept. We talk about finance, business. Coach gets really deep on a lot of concepts today. I'm just going to tell you, you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned, join in, and welcome to our show today, Coach Micheal Burt. Coach Burt, Micheal Burt. This is great, man. This is going to be fun. So, first off, I got to start with this because if y'all don't know Coach Burt, you guys got to look him up. I promise you will not. You're gonna find out who he is pretty quick. But Coach, so I've been coached by you, so I'm biased. I think you're a great coach. You've done some great big things in life. And I told my team yesterday, I've heard his story so many times. I think I know his story better than I know my own story.
Yep.
So, how did you position that? How did you figure out that concept as something to continue to do? The repeat your story. How did that come to you? Where did you get that coaching or that concept?
Yeah, it came from Two Market Media, Hank Norman and Steve Carlos.
Okay.
Who were instrumental in, guys like Cardone, those people, and I got to know them through that. And I was so I hired them to coach me, and they started to introduce me to the concept of story of origin. And what is your story of origin? When did you have a big revelation about coaching? When did you have this conviction? When did you, right? We kept going back 6 years old, single mom, on a baseball field. Mickey Vinson, the coach, said to me, son, one of these days, you're going to be a great coach. 15 years old, my high school coach called me professor, starting junior pro basketball. And they said, you got to learn to tell this story over and over and over. And that is your story of origin, which allows people to get to know the backstory of Coach Burt. Where is this making of a coach? Where did it start? And I remember sitting in New York City with Hank Norman at lunch and Steve Carlos, who are still friends to me to this day. And I said, what will keep me from being a big-time thought leader? And Hank Norman didn't miss a beat. He said, your inability to be vulnerable. He said, people see you like you're a machine.
You are, Coach.
Okay? And he said, they don't ever see you have a bad day. They don't ever see you be negative. They don't ever see you do this. They don't ever see you talk about your past or your history or parents. And I remember leaving there and telling my wife, I'm not doing that. They can forget it. I'm not talking about those things.
Wow.
And then, I don't know, over the course of years, I started to go, okay, maybe I do need to talk about these things. And I just started telling little stories, having a breakdown at 25, losing all my confidence because I went through a breakthrough, took an engagement ring back. And man, I saw how people started to really listen. Connect. And so I just started telling a little bit more. And not from a pity party, but just connection, man. I'm not a machine. I'm a human, just like everybody else. I struggle with the same things they do. I'm a small business owner trying to make it big. So I just started being more real. And when I started to be more real, I connected to people a lot more. And that all started with that story of origin from those guys saying, what is your story of origin? I never thought about it.
So if anybody's thinking about being a coach, you would tell them the same thing. Get your story of origin right.
100%. If you're going to tell a story, if you're going to be a coach, if you're going to speak. See, in marketing, affinity is I line up with you. Like I watch you in the morning, you and I believe the same things. We get to go to bed early, right? It all goes to zero at midnight. We go to bed tired, we wake up hungry. We get back in the gym and do it again the next day. We fight through our feelings. So affinity is I believe the same things this person believes. Well, I can't line up with you unless I know what you believe. and why you believe it and what you do and how you do it different. And so that coaching helped me to package my message. And that's very important when you're speaking.
Well, you mastered this just from my outside observations. I've been following you since 2000. I think it was 17. What was Vegas 10X when you spoke?
2018.
2018 is when I first saw you on stage, and I remember sitting there. My wife and I were sitting and this was, just to be honest with you, in 2018, I wasn't making much money, and I knew I needed to take my business to the next level.
Yep.
And I remember hearing about Cardone, and it was weird because I heard about Cardone from a buddy who was in car sales.
Yep.
Because that's what his niche was. And he said, hey, you got to hear this guy. And he was doing conference calls at that time. Like literally you dial in and get on a call. And I thought that was the weirdest thing. But then I got onto him, and then I heard about coaching and things, and I wasn't into that yet. But my wife and I said, we got to get maybe on his coaching program. And I guess maybe at that time he didn't believe in himself either.
Yeah.
Because he was holding that event. And literally because I joined the coaching program, a week later they sent us 2 free tickets.
Oh, wow.
So I got free tickets to this event.
Yep.
That were like in the nosebleed.
Yeah.
But they were free.
That's right.
So I went, and that's when I saw you on stage, and I looked at all the other speakers, everybody that was there, business thought leaders, entrepreneurs, everybody was there. And you were the only person on that stage that was structured.
Yeah.
The only one that went up there with a plan.
Yes.
And I look over at my wife and I said, I like him.
Yeah.
That guy knows what he's doing. He didn't come here unprepared.
Right.
And because everybody up there went out there and they just winged it.
Blows my mind. Well, to be honest with you, it's a level of arrogance, in my opinion.
Okay.
To ever get on a stage unprepared. That's what people are paying to see. They're not just paying for you to pontificate about how great you are, or, they're paying because they think you're great. And I used to go to coaching clinics when I was a young basketball coach to see all the greats. Patino, Calipari, right? Okay. And the great ones never would tell us anything. They would sit there for an hour and just talk about nothing because they didn't want to give it away. Then there would always be some up-and-coming coach that you didn't know. And I would leave those coaching clinics and go, man, I love that dude. He had structure and strategy. Man, I would have paid money just to watch that little dude right there. And so it shocked me when I spoke at 10X. And people just got up there and talked. They didn't have a message. They didn't have a structure. And I'm a coach. I'm like, man, I'm going to coach these people. When I'm speaking, I'm coaching. And I'm coaching as hard as I can. That's why a lot of people don't understand this. When I coach, like I did today for 6 hours, I'm exhausted. When I do an hour keynote, because I have just poured so much energy into it, it's like I've been in the locker room with a team for 6 hours going at it. See what I'm saying? It's an event. It's not the casual person, don't think like this. The casual person thinks, oh, he's getting up giving a talk. No. When I go into it, it's an event. When I speak and coach like I did today, it's an event. I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm waking up in the morning thinking about it. Even if I speak for an hour, I want it to be so impactful on people. I'm exhausted after it.
How do you keep that going? Because obviously you just said something. It's a level of, we'll call it some arrogance. It's this belief system that you don't need to prepare.
Yeah.
I would assume after doing it so many times, and you're still have that discipline. How does somebody getting into coaching even? I don't know if you can even teach that. Can you teach that?
I don't know. I truly don't know that you can teach it. It is instinctual. T.D. Jakes has got a book out called Instinct, I believe, or something like that. And I bought the book for the title. And because go to T.D. Jakes and say, teach me how to speak like you do. Because I've gone to his church, and the way he can move 10,000 people up and down, and it's an experience. Okay? And how do you teach somebody that instinct? See, and so me, you say, well, where does that instinct come from? It comes from 31 years of coaching people, reading people, knowing when I need to shift. When do I need to push hard? When do I need to tell a joke? When do I need to pivot? Now, can I teach them the mechanics of a great story? Yes. Can I teach them how to make money with coaching? Yes. Can I teach them how to speak? Maybe. Can I teach them that instinct?
You think you're born with that, or is that something you just
No,
got? It's a
I do
muscle.
not. I do not think I was. I don't. Do not think you're born with it. I think it is found and then developed or refined over a long cycle of time.
Like 31 years.
That's right.
I mean, that I kind of chuckle because I've only seen you for the last 5 years grow, and I've seen you go from that one stage to today.
Yep.
And I was just watching you. How many people were here? And actually, I mean, it was online, here in person. How many people today?
Yeah. About 600 total people.
See, that's incredible to move 600 people to take a decision to spend a whole day with you. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. So how do you do something of that nature? Somebody's out there saying, "Shit, I want to do that."
It started with little rooms and 3 people and 4 people and 5 people and bad Best Westerns and me speaking. You know, you got to think. I worked for a company called SkillPath. I was a trainer, what they call a trainer for SkillPath. I had a neighbor who was a professional speaker named Gail Stoner. Okay. And he lived right beside me. I had a condo, 2-bedroom condos before I was married, kids. And I said, man, I want to speak. And they said to me, your neighbor is a professional speaker. You should go over and talk to him. Went over and knocked on the door, said, Mr. Gail Stoner, I'm a high school basketball coach. I want to be a professional speaker. And he said, you should go speak for SkillPath, which leads 3,000 seminars a month. Largest provider of seminars in the country at that time.
Okay.
SkillPath would market a city hard with paper mail, right? There was no internet in those days. They would send flyers out for $99. Turn your managers into supervisors. No, turn your people into supervisors. Excelling as a first-time manager. That's what it's called. Excelling as a first-time manager. And it was $99. And they needed trainers. They needed people like me. So I went to Kansas City, did a speaking engagement for them. They took notes like crazy. At the end of the deal, they said, you're hired. And I said, okay, great. What does that mean? They said, we'll send you the cities you're going to. Okay. I get it in the mail. You're going to be in these 5 cities on these dates. And at first it was crazy cities. Ithaca, New York, Utica, Burlington, Vermont, Meridian, Mississippi, Florence, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida. And there would be 4 people there. 8 hours a day with 4 people.
Man.
And I did 60 of those in 2 years.
That's brutal.
But you know what I was really doing? Working the muscle memory, repetition, role play, in front of people, testing. I was in the game.
You were.
They paid me $250 a day for all the people watching. I had a $40 per diem. Do you know what you can eat on $40, folks?
McDonald's.
Yeah. So is this how it worked? For all the people that want to be a speaker and a coach, this is what I did. Fly into a city. It's always regional. Typically had to take 2 or 3 flights. Get there, rent a car, drive, city 1. Unpack the books. Not my books. I was selling other people's books. That's the books they sent me. Unpack the seminar. Do the seminar for 8 hours. Exhausted. Get in the car. Drive 220 miles to the next city. Stop and get a food on my $40. Do it all over again. Let me tell you what I learned. How to connect to anybody, anywhere, anytime. I was in Burlington, Vermont. Energy. Pre-drive. Yelling. They just looked at me like this. And on the break, I said, man, what's wrong? These people hate it. The guy said, man, you're in Burlington, Vermont, and Portland, Maine. He's like, take your jacket off, roll your sleeves up, slow down, and connect to these people.
Interesting.
And he's like, you're too much for these people. They're not used to this, right? And he taught me a valuable lesson. Know the audience, slow down, take your jacket off, roll your sleeves up, and then just slow down some. And that was valuable.
Wow. Well, I mean, coach. So I have aspirations to coach at some level. Well, I do right now. I speak as well. That's why I was attracted to you. So I think a lot of the people I associate with are like, man, I want to be like Coach Burt, right? Yep. And I think the lifestyle you're living today is obviously way better than it was 1 year ago, or 5 or 7. So I look at this and I'm thinking, When does it become real for a coach today? Like when is it money that make? Because let's just be real. Like everybody wants to be a coach for stardom, for for influence, for the ability to. I mean, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but you have to have aspirations to be known if you're going to coach.
That's right.
It's just pretty honest for people to say it's not. They just want to serve. There is an inner desire that we want to be known.
Yes.
Person of interest, your concept.
That's right.
So when does somebody make it as a coach? I mean, there's a lot of aspiring people to do it. Is there like in the industry, is there a dollar amount?
Let's look at it. There's 700, the stats tell me there's 700,000 people in the United States that call themselves a coach.
That's a lot.
The average income of those coaches is $47,000 a year.
Wow.
Which tells me they do not know how to monetize. They don't know how to package. They don't know how to sell. See, a lot of people see me and they go, he's a great coach. What they don't know is that I'm just as good of a salesperson as I am a coach.
I'd agree with that.
I can sell, I can promote, I can market. I told everybody I've done everything from drive the bus to sell the books. So you say, why is that valuable? When I'm putting an event on, today with 600 people, I know how to make an offer. I know how to push people. I know how to follow up. I know how to convert. I know how to ask hard questions. Most coaches do not know how to do those things.
Wow.
And without that, truth be told, there is no monetization. And although I have salespeople on my team, I love those salespeople, but if they don't hit that number, I step in and make sure we hit it.
Amen. So what are some of the skill sets a great coach must have? What are let's say top three. What are their top three skill sets?
Connection.
Connection.
Ability to package a concept. Ability to market a concept. So I say find that which makes you unique, package it, market it, monetize it. Okay? Without that, you're a commodity. See, it took me till I was 41 years old, 42 years old to decide I'm going to be the leading authority in the world at activating prey drive.
What is prey drive? So everybody knows.
Prey drive is instinctual instinct to see something with the eyes or in the imagination, in the mind, and to have the persistence and intensity to pursue it. That is my definition of prey drive. Prey drive is prevalent in animals.
Like a dog.
A dog has a prey drive. Stalk, capture, kill prey. I am associating that concept in the new book, Flip the Switch, with a human. And I'm saying, based on my 31 years of coaching experience, humans have a prey drive.
A desire to go get something.
Is a desire to pursue. Now you say pursue what? We could get into everything from potential, deals, opportunity.
It could also be negative, couldn't it?
It could be negative. Now I'm not saying predatory.
Yeah.
People. So there are people, and I've known people who are predatory, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying an instinct inside of you to see something and pursue it with an activation and persistence. And what I've really done with the book is I've taken that concept, packaged it into a book, broke down motivational theory, deconstructed it, codified it, and then come up with my own theory about what prey drive is in humans and how to activate that drive.
That's a pretty, it's not even high level. It's pretty interesting because we already know that, right? Men or women both have a prey drive in them, right? They're always pursuing something. That's why I said negative, because you could be pursuing drugs or you could be pursuing potential.
Yes.
One or the other is the same, right? So just by that definition, could somebody take that prey drive concept and say they do it in every area of their life already? I mean, they're already doing it. They just may be pursuing the wrong things.
Some, yeah, but most people are motivated to do something.
That's what I mean.
Now, I spent 4 years in the prison system rehabilitating maximum security offenders, a contract I had in the state of Tennessee many years ago, and they were all, those are people who pursued something. They just did it on the wrong side of the law. What was interesting, though, is they actually had more prey drive, more instinct to pursue many times than the correctional officers who had complete freedom. The correctional officers who had complete freedom had less drive, less motivation, some of them, not all of them, than the people who were in the prison cell.
Interesting.
When truth is, they were not in prison. They were free to pursue anything they wanted to.
Yeah, they could have done anything, but they just showed up to the prison.
So I get
voluntarily,
that's right.
voluntarily showed up every day.
So I get into in the book Why do people become lazy? Why do people become complacent?
Why do they?
Satisfied needs never motivate, only unsatisfied needs. So a person becomes complacent because their needs are met.
So they hit the 100,000. That was the goal.
Could be 50,000.
Well, that's true, right?
See, I used to work in a call center in St. Louis. They would take people out of working at Burger King at $8 or $9 an hour, put them in a call center. They'd be making 50,000 a year, and then they couldn't get them motivated to want to make 70. In their mind, they made it. They hit the lottery. They're making 50,000 a year. At Burger King, they were making $8 an hour. So the reason they called me in is because they said, I can't get these people motivated to want something bigger. So think of it like this. Can you activate the wantingness in a person? And the answer is yes.
Wow.
Exposure activates the desire. You went to that 10X conference because you wanted a better life. And you got in a big room, 10,000 people at Mandalay Bay, and you walked out of there thinking bigger because you were exposed to people thinking bigger.
That's right.
The sheer volume of the event. I mean, I remember doing a speaker dinner that week because Cardone wanted to do a speaker dinner, and it was me and Tim Grover and Ed Milet and Cardone, and I'm sitting at the table with these dudes. Tim Story as one of the speakers. And I'm sitting here going, man, I have gone from being a high school basketball coach and I'm having dinner with all these people. I'm one of them. I'm here speaking on the same stage in the same room, having a private dinner with them.
Was that a I made it kind of feeling, or it was a driver? Which one was it?
It was a driver because I still didn't feel like I had made it because they didn't know me. Yeah. They knew me after I spoke, and all of them were complimentary. All of them, I think, genuinely came to me and said the same thing you did. You know what you're doing. You are a real coach, and many of them said you were the only real coach.
I would agree with that.
Right? Grover is a coach in his field, but most of them said you were the only pure coach on the stage all 3-4 days.
I would agree with that.
So that was my niche. I walked out of there going, I can do this.
What separates you? Because I mean, obviously, we watch some of these guys still today. I do, and I'm pretty sure you follow some of them.
Of course.
What separates you from them and them from you today? What are they doing differently that you need to do more of?
I need to learn how to market better. I need to build a bigger audience. I need to probably expand my organization with more people. What they do is they've just become more famous in some rights than me. But they would all tell you that we all have different skill sets. My skill set's activating pre-drive, packaging concepts. That's why so many people come to me to teach them how to coach. It's because I know how to package a concept and teach people how to make money with coaching, right? So I have a skill set. They have a skill set. We all have differentiated skill sets. So some people will resonate with me. Some people will resonate with them.
Of course, I get it.
And some people will resonate with, and I tell people, look, you can be coached by me and Cardone at the same time because we're different.
It's very different.
We don't have the same skill set.
Very different.
He's going to teach you how to market and become known. Right? That's important. I'm going to teach you how to activate your pre-drive, package your concept. So there's a place for all of us.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. I think I follow everybody at least at some level. Is there somebody you're studying right now or following? I mean, it doesn't have to be one of them. Is there somebody?
The interesting thing is I've gone back to Dan Sullivan.
He is the man, isn't he?
I was in strategic coach from 35 to 38 or 33 to 36, 3 years, great program. And I got it, but I didn't really get it. And so I found myself going back to the structures that Sullivan teaches: total cash confidence, self-managing company, ABC model, 10X ambition, self-multiplying company. Like now I'm at a point in my life that I want to build highly skilled people around me, very talented, skilled people, so that I can do, the 3 things I really need to be doing.
That's interesting. I've been getting hit up, by the way, by Joe Polish.
Yeah.
Like hard, man. They send me phone. I don't know how I got on their radar because I don't think I submitted anything. I might have downloaded a book or something one time, and now I'm getting hit. And these guys, the Genius Network looks like it's great.
It's exactly what it's called,
Yeah.
Genius Network. And I've never gone to it, but I know I've had a lot of people who have.
I have a few people who have come out of that I've met, and they're pretty far along in the journey, and they credit a lot of the success to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Joe is a genius at marketing.
yeah. Interesting thing. He sent me his first marketing piece with me was his book called something like something about marketing. I can't remember the name of
Yep.
the book. Something marketing. And in the book, he sent me a letter and he sent me a dollar bill taped to the page. And he was like, I'm investing in you before you
Wow.
even put a dollar in me. And I'm like, this is pretty good, man. It's a
Yeah.
real dollar bill. I'm thinking he's sending books, money, letters. I'm like, man, I must be a real. I was thinking in my mind, not that I'm a target, but I thought he must be asking for a big number
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I said, he's a marketing wizard, and I think that's a necessary skill that everybody's got to learn.
Do you think that as a coach you have to have that skill, or you can hire that skill?
I think until you become really big time, and people can market, and you're a known quantity, you need to learn. You need to understand marketing and promotion.
I would say that too. I think that there's a lot of coaches out there that think that they just exist, but they
I
gotta.
would love to just show up and coach people, and but that's not. I mean, look at the artist, the entertainer. They got to go on radio shows. They got to do promotional events. They got to like that's part of the deal of being an entertainer.
I think that that's a big challenge for most people because they don't want to do all the work. They just want to show up and coach. I wish.
In
that
an
was,
ideal world today, all I do is show up and do my thing, and I've kind of structured it that way for the most part. I still am too involved in the sales cycle, which I don't like. But the truth is, I'm the best salesperson we have because it's my content. Like I see it, right? I mean, so
You
so
live it.
so there may not be anybody who comes along, but I want other people to. I really have a desire for other people to
Well,
sell
I
it.
mean, all the other guys that I follow aren't salesmen as much as, let's say, Cardone. Cardone's a salesman,
Yep.
and he's selling all day. I mean, if
Yep.
he met you, he'd sell you, which is interesting because the guy has obviously, I don't think he's made it per se, but he definitely doesn't need the $5,000. But he's going to ask you for the $5,000.
I remember being in Miami because he and I did a lot of things from 2012 to 2015. Endorsed the book Zebras and Cheetahs. I did the first 10X in Mexico with him. I mean, I was on his show all the time, the Cardone Zone, routinely. And then he, kind of went down this path of getting celebrities and people had big followings, which I understand. But I remember being down there and he was doing a promotion where he was charging $5,000 for one-to-one coaching. 15 minutes, 30 minutes with Cardone. And I said, why? Like you got to be worth
more than that.
$300 or $400 million or 500.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? I said, you don't enjoy it, do you? He said, hell no. Hate it. And he said something I'll never forget. He said, it's just another way to extract $5,000 from somebody.
Damn, that's hard.
Just another way somebody would give us $5,000 for me to do this. Now, here's the deal. He didn't, just because he said that, didn't mean that he didn't give effort to it.
Or value.
It didn't mean he didn't bring value. It was worth more than $5,000.
I would agree with that.
So I had a buddy that went down there, a guy I coached, Tommy C. Davidson, and he said just being around Cardone was worth more than $5,000. Just walking in a room, just preparing for the meeting, just getting ready. So it wasn't just because he said it didn't make him a bad dude. But I never forgot that.
Well, he's
maximized. But there's things I do. I coach people today for one day, 15,000, 2 days, 25,000, and people will pay it for me to spend 2 days with them. Right now, is that what out of everything I do? Is that what I enjoy? Some things I do because it's valuable for them, and I'm like, you know what? It's a good product. But I tell my team I'll do 6 in the first quarter and tell you if I like it.
It's part of the
like today we sold a concept called the 2x4.
I was about to ask you about this.
Which is 4 people come to this lodge. They do something we've never let people do. They stay at the lodge for 2 days, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We basically live in this house, and I coach them start to finish for 2 days. And it's and I think we sold maybe 3. Maybe we sold out of like 3 different versions of that.
What's the name of that show where they do this? They live in a house.
Yeah, the house.
What's it called?
They
you know.
help us out, Karen.
No,
Yeah,
the original, the OG
yeah,
one.
the OG one.
Golly, I don't watch enough
well,
TV.
they had Big Brother. They had
Yeah, maybe Big Brother.
they had
That's
Big
what.
Brother. They had this. They had
That's what I was thinking right now. I'm like, dude, you need to get cameras and you need to record the whole thing.
It's
And
not a bad idea.
yeah,
Jersey
no,
Shore. Yeah, there you go.
This would be a really cool concept if you could sell the like the live TV version
yeah.
of it. We're watching it live,
Yeah.
seeing what's going on.
This actually was approached by a group the other day. Your Home Network. It's where you have your own TV show. They just struck a deal with Roku,
And they're looking for
and they're looking for guys like me and
idea.
you, talent. They're looking for talented people. And they said, look, you could have your own Coach Burt channel and your own shows on there with all of your talented people. Because we're looking for content and we're looking to follow people that are doing things, and it's on streaming, and we have the infrastructure. And I thought,
It's a cool idea.
Let's do television.
It'd be cool. A reality show would be very interesting, I think. You know what would be really cool? So, and this is just an idea, Coach, because I know somebody. Well, I know you, but you and I both know the guy. Russell Brunson does an event called. It's called the Hackathon.
Hackathon.
Funnel-thon or something like that, right? Hackathon. It is a hackathon.
Yeah.
You should do something like that, but to package a product to sell to take to market.
Yeah.
Like bring them in a room.
Yeah.
Force them to write it down. Force them to package it. Force them to create the content, the offer, everything at one time.
I like that.
That'd be a super cool show to watch.
I like that.
It would really. I would definitely.
Well, there is an art. For years, this was a big mistake I made that I don't want the people watching this to make. I never got coached in the offer. See, when I spoke at 10X, I didn't know what I knew how to coach. I didn't know how to make an offer. If I would have known how to make an offer that day, I'd have brought in $2 million.
I would agree with that because I paid. What did you offer? $500?
Yeah, $500.
I paid it.
Yep.
And I would have paid more.
Yeah, and I just can't believe that that is a skill when you're doing an event and how to make an offer.
I saw you do it today.
Today you saw me do it for 40. I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal.
What did you hit? Do you know your number yet?
I would say, I think it's feasible to say this event could generate between $300,000 and $500,000.
Okay, so just for everybody, it's a free event.
Free.
One day.
10 to 4.
10 to 4. Let's just round in the middle. $400,000.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, that's not an everyday occurrence.
No.
I mean, you wish it were.
I did 4. I wish it was. Yeah, but it could be.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We did 4 virtual events last year that did. Let's just call it close to $2 million of revenue. So $500,000 per event, with 240 to 250 people.
That is insane.
So that happened because I hired a company out of Houston named E3. It was called Six Figure Seminars. They renamed it to E3, and they come in, and part of the deal was they marketed the event, they put on the event, they create the event, they set it up for the artist, which is what I love about it. They set it up for a guy like me just to come in and do what I do, which is coach.
And they come out and play the music.
And they coached me in how to make the offer, which nobody had ever coached me in. So I would go coach somewhere or speak. It's no different than you going out and speaking.
Yeah.
And, at the end, I would say, man, if you want to sign up for my coaching, do this, or, come see this guy, and I would sell a few books, but nothing like I do today, which is because there's a science to this. There's a monetization formula. There's a formula, and this is really what I teach people when they come to what I teach people now that's different than when you came through the Micheal Burt School of Speaking is now I spend time on that formula. Now I spend time helping teach people
the value stack,
the value stack, how to make an offer, all of those things.
because that was, by the way, it was very beautifully put. In fact, me and my wife were sitting in the back. We're trying to guess what the number was going to end at. I thought it was going to be 19, or what did I say, 1997? I thought she said 2990. She hit it. She hit it. You know, by the way, the stack was incredible because everything on there was extremely valuable.
Yeah.
Extremely valuable. I mean, the problem I think that people coaches get a bad rap because it sounds like it's all about money.
Yeah.
But the things you're doing are really changing people's life. I'm proof of that.
Exactly.
I'm proof of that. I mean, I spent a lot of money.
And you can't change their life. The truth is, the money just
Commits.
is a form of commitment. That's what the money represents. I'm committing to show up, to do the work, and when you pay attention.
That's right.
And that's really the thing that people don't understand is that I paid 14 grand to spend 3 hours with the guy for him to show me how to make the new book a bestseller, a Wall Street Journal bestseller, and which is not easy. But the question is, why didn't I do that 15 books ago? Why didn't I do it when I signed a book deal with Wiley or with what was the second one, Simon & Schuster? Or why didn't I do it? See, it took me. No, I didn't know. When we know better, we do better.
But is it because you didn't know, or you didn't want to invest the money? Did you not
Both.
look for
I didn't look. I
Okay.
didn't even know people would coach you on that, or I didn't go looking for it. See, this time I wrote this book and I said this is going to be my best book. It's my biggest book. You see, it's big, it's thick.
Yeah, it's good.
It's well packaged. If you got it right there, yeah, it's well packaged.
I got it.
I mean, that looks like a serious book.
It does. By the way, when I picked it up a while ago, because this is the one of the first copies.
That's called a galley copy. It's not even out yet.
Okay, so I got this copy and I picked it up. My wife and I looked at it and I said, "Man, this is serious business."
Yeah.
This is serious business. Because I mean, when we pick up books, I mean, I've written a book, and I mean, but when you pick up a book, it was some seriousness.
Yeah.
This is really good, man.
Now this book is my best book I've ever written out of 17. I finished the whole book. I was sitting right here at this lodge. And I had to have it in by midnight on a certain date. And I literally turned it in at midnight.
You were that guy.
Turn in the publisher. Publisher comes back to me and says, "You can do better." This is after a year. And at first I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, see, nobody had made me have this because I went to college, for 9 years, and to get all these degrees. And in the academic world, they call it rigor, standards, right? The higher you get, the more you go, the harder it is, the more expectation they have. You got to do dissertation. They kick it back. It's not good enough. There's a rigor to it. And no publisher had ever had that rigor. I would just turn the book in and I'd say, "Okay,
Good job.
good job. Thanks for turning it in." This publisher come back and said, "We've read the book. You got another gear in you. Go back and find it." And so I went back and spent a whole nother year. The book was pushed back, guys, a year. The publication date. It was supposed to come out back last year. And but it was good. I appreciate that because the book is better.
You definitely. I mean, you've been pushing this hard.
I pushed this harder than anything I've ever pushed.
I like how you said it downstairs, and I believed it. You said, "Look, guys, I'm going to push the hell out of this book.
Yep.
I'm going to go on a tour.
Yep.
I'm going to push it as far as I can go.
Yep.
And then I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to go for the next one."
I'm gonna move. I already got. I think the title will be the next one. Yeah.
That is incredible because I mean, I'm trying to write my second, and I'm struggling with the title.
Yeah.
Are you thinking title first, then book, or book then title?
I think concept first.
Okay.
And I don't choose the concept. The concept chooses me because I talk about things and I've learned to read audiences and what people warm up to. And I'll see Prey Drive actually just started by me talking about it. Dog had a Prey Drive and I saw this guy talk and he talked about it and I'm playing around with the concept and people come up to me and they immediately hooked into them and they said, "Man, I like that Prey Drive concept. We activate the Prey Drive in my people." As a matter of fact, what you said to me, exactly what you said to me, something similar when you called me to coach your team, is you said, "Man, I got to activate the drive in my team and I got to do," right?
That's right.
And I wasn't talking about Prey Drive then, but if I would have been talking about Prey Drive, you would have used those words.
Yeah.
And that's what people walk up to me and say today, "Man, my guys need Prey Drive. My team needs Prey Drive. My spouse needs Prey Drive. My kids need Prey Drive." And so what I do now is I look at a concept, and I think about, will this concept stick, and will people be interested in this concept, and can I sell the concept? And then I start asking, man, what would be a concept strong enough for me to be on Good Morning America talking about it?
Interesting.
That everybody in the world goes, man, I want to hear him talk about that. What is that concept? Okay. So now I'm stepping back and thinking before I write the book on what is a marketable concept before I write it.
This is interesting because, I mean, I'm thinking of the book I'm writing, and I'm like, man, I have not thought that big.
Yeah.
That's the truth, and it's because I guess I'm on my second. You're on 17. I'm
Yep.
assuming at 2 you were the same way.
Well, early on, what I did is I had a concept, and I would just say, well, I'm going to write a book on that concept. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about what problem it solved for people. Could I sell it? Is it marketable? Is it universal? Is it a niche? I didn't think about any of this. I didn't think about any of the marketing of the book. And then we wrote Zebras and Cheetahs, which was published by Wiley, and we couldn't sell that. We couldn't figure out how to sell the book. Great book,
I read it.
but we couldn't figure out how to sell it. And it was because I remember calling my co-author, and we were both frustrated because it wasn't selling, and Wiley was disappointed in it, and I said, man, we haven't done a good job showing people how this book solves a problem for them.
That's right.
The book's not going to sell itself. What problem does the book solve? And if you start there, what problem does the book solve? How many people have this problem? Who would be interested in? Who would read a book to solve a problem? Like I was thinking about a book the other day that I wanted to read because I'm fascinated with psychology. A lot of my work is psychology, although I didn't get my degrees in psychology, right? I got my degrees in leadership and management and, the coaching, things like that. But I'm fascinated by psychology. And so I would buy a book that said, how to break down psychology in, in an hour, or how to do this.
So you're buying title because it sounded
Yep.
like it solved your problem.
That's right. When I go to the bookstore, I say, what am I interested in? What do I want to learn? And many times I buy a book based on the title, and I may not even know who the author is.
It's perspective.
I brought a book called Productize, how to take your services and turn them into products. I didn't know the author. I didn't know who wrote it. I wrote a book called The Confident Mind not long ago by a guy who was the psychologist at West Point because of the title, The Confident Mind, how to build unbreakable confidence. See, so the title, in my opinion, or the concept is everything. And until you get that, like your concept, build your own economy, is a very powerful concept. People need to do that. Now, the question is, will they pay money to learn how to do it without you beating them over the head trying to tell them they need to do it, right?
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, some people will, some people won't.
Is it enough people, in your opinion?
I don't build your own economy is an action, and I like that. But is it an acute? So think about problems as there's acute and chronic.
Okay.
Acute is I feel the pain right here, and I got to go to the doctor and get it solved right now.
Yeah.
Chronic is
it's a lifestyle.
And so when people go, well, I like to build my own economy, I think that's a good thing. But you got to think about acute problems. Like my book, Flip the Switch, is like, all right, man, I'm in a funk. I'm complacent. I need to play at another level. You know what I'm saying? I need a dose of that. Like I had a guy text me today who I hadn't heard from in years. And he said, man, I was on your thing today because I've gotten complacent and lazy, and I need to activate my prey drive, man.
Interesting.
I've had people making $500,000 a month hire me to be their coach and say I lost my prey drive. So what I look for in a concept is universal. Your concept is universal. Build your own economy. Is it acute enough that a person will go, I got to buy his book? Or is it out of potential? See, people make decisions. I'm in pain. Give me something to help me. Or potential, I want to build my own economy. So I need to buy this book to learn how to do it.
So my next concept is to take the build your own economy concept and take it into wealth and health and build it to the pain points like taxes. Obviously, we do tax strategy, #1 tax strategist in the country. And I talk about that a lot. And that's a big pain point.
Yep.
It is acute. It's as
right.
acute as you can get.
That's right.
And I mean, we get so much. So the next book is going to have tax and business. The way I thought about it is how to avoid the things that cause the most pain when it comes to taxes. There's
Yeah.
going to be a hook up there, right? How to join the 3% club and avoid
Yep.
the overpaying in taxes.
So what I have found when marketing a concept is that people will buy a concept to avoid some kind of pain.
I put the word avoid intentionally because
Yeah.
I think that's what people want.
Yeah.
Avoiding.
So that's right. So when it comes to taxes, when you really get up there and start making some money, no, I won't say really, but when you start making some money,
You pay taxes.
you pay taxes.
And people don't.
Most accountants will tell you, man, I can get you down to 24%, but anything else below that is getting into dicey ground. And all these strategies are this and that. And let me tell you what the problem is. There's so much confusion about what to do. Because, do you trust this person? This person seems like you could trust them, and they keep you out of trouble, and this person's telling me to do this. And so I'm like, man, I shouldn't be paying this much in taxes. And it's like, well, I don't know if I'd recommend that strategy. And that one's a little this, and this is a little this. Then you don't know what to believe, just to be honest with you. That's the problem.
Well, I think a lot of the accountants and CPAs out there, tax professionals, are they're it's like you're giving them your high-powered sports car, and
Yeah.
you're saying, hey, this is my business. It's growing. It's going to the moon here. It's the rocket ship, and you think you can handle it and take care of it, make sure I don't pay taxes?
That's
and they're
right.
like, I've never seen this thing before.
That's right.
I've never seen this much money in my life.
Great way of saying it.
They've never seen this much money. And you're giving them the keys to it, and you're saying, just go out and make sure it's taken care of. And then they're like, I'll try not to dent it for you. And they're scared.
That's an incredible analogy.
They're scared.
You said to me one day, just and you and I were talking about the new book, you said most high prey drive people go out and make a lot of money only to give it to low prey drive accountants.
It's the truth, isn't it?
And that is, that should be a tagline that you promote over and over and over. You should run Facebook ads on that one.
It's true, though, and I see it all the time because people are losing in the game today because they go to somebody who has no ambition to do more with their life, and then they expect them to take care of their money like they would. But I mean, most of them would say, well, you make a lot of money, you can afford to just pay it.
Well, now,
that's what they say.
And this is something that drives me crazy. We had a person out here taking care of the lodge that we were paying to clean the lodge. And something happened, and they told one of our other workers, oh, Coach Burt can afford it. It ain't no big deal. This is what people who are not making money say about people who make money.
Exactly.
Then we had a guy last week who threw an absolute fit for a refund on an event that was $97. And he said in his email, Coach Burt won't miss $97. Okay? And I just thought, man, that's such a bad assumption to make about people.
Yep.
And I went back to him and I said, it's not about that. It's about the principle of that, okay? And so I see a lot of people that they start thinking, I'll just mooch off these people, or I'll just take this because they won't miss it. Or number one, it's an unethical thing to do. But number two, that's how people think, though. Like, you won't miss a couple $100,000, on your taxes, and it's not that big a deal to you to save you 50 more grand. Or you already made over this much money, or a couple $1 million. Why freak out about that? And that's, I think
that's the biggest challenge.
I really do. So I like your analogy of taking your sports car, your fancy sports car, and turn it over to someone, right? And saying, hey, it's like me turning over the G-Wagon to somebody and saying, hey, take good care of it.
Yeah, and they don't even know how
they
to
don't
turn
even
it
know what
on.
a G-Wagon is.
They don't know how to turn it on, man. They're like, where's the button? I had somebody drive my BMW a few weeks back. I dropped it off to get a car wash, and the guy gets in there and he goes, hey, how do I put this thing in drive? And I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna go well for me.
This is the guy I'm giving this is the guy I'm giving the keys to.
And that's exactly what you do with an accountant today.
Yeah.
And it's not to hate on them, because a lot of the times when I look at the CPAs, the accountants out there, they're not bad people. They just have no ambition to go further than what they know.
Right.
And even if they did, they don't have the time to do it.
That's right.
So it's just a lack of energy, time, commitment. It's a whole accumulation of it. And they become complacent because they're making good money.
Right.
By their definition.
That's exactly right.
Their standards.
It's all relative.
Right. What is, by the way, so we're going to end with a few things. So what is the goal for you in 2023? Because you've got big, hairy, audacious goals.
Finish my greatness factory. That has been a bear to tackle.
What's the budget there, just so I know?
The budget is, well, we had a budget of about 1.6 million to build it out. The budget came in at 2.8 million, so it's a million. It's a
Whoa.
million two over budget right
I mean,
now.
just a little bit. It sounds like almost
Hey,
double.
yeah, just it is almost double. So one is to get that thing up and going.
Tell my audience what is
The
that
Greatness
thing?
Factory is a unique destination where you can work, learn, grow, connect. It's a place where you can manufacture your greatness. So you can work there, you can be coached there, you can send your team there, you can do events there. There's podcast studios there. It's like a little city where people are working, learning, growing. Every member gets access to my coaching. Right? We have activation events. We have a 116-person auditorium, private dining hall overlooking Fifth Avenue in Nashville. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And so my big goal is to get it up, get it running, get it fully rented. And that's both a real estate play and a vision, because we want more of these. We want them all over the country. Okay.
What's your goal date to execute this by? Do you have like a date?
May of 2023. We'll
You-
see.
that quick?
5 months. Yeah, they told me they could build it.
Well, it's a shell, right?
It's
So-
already shell. It's so I'd like to get it up by May, no later than June. That's a big goal. Number two, make this book a Wall Street Journal bestseller. Okay, because that's a big goal of mine. Become a thought leader, right? Number three,
It's a big goal.
I think I'm passionate about my success schools for kids that we're doing, teaching the habits of the top 1%. There's big opportunity there. Partner with schools, private schools, individual kids, and for the first time, I'm certifying coaches. So we're actually bringing coaches in the next week or so, and we're going to be certifying coaches so I can build out my kind of coaching army.
Interesting.
Those are all things we're
That'll be
doing.
a licensing play.
Yeah.
So people who want to be mentored by you directly,
That's right.
learn your strategies, your approaches, and actually go to the marketplace. So that's a business model for somebody.
That's correct. They
That-
can make money. They can monetize their
That's
coaching.
what I'm saying. So somebody out there, they're watching, they're like, I want to be a coach like Coach Burt.
Yep.
But they don't have the resources, the time, the
Infrastructure.
energy, or the concepts.
Yeah.
Because the concepts are something that's the hardest thing, right? Anybody can be a great speaker.
That's right.
But they don't have a concept to share to them. No message to say, right?
That's
So what's that cost, by the way, so everybody knows?
$7,500.
For a year?
Yep.
Or a lifetime?
Nope, for a year.
Okay. And they get to split with you, or is it just a $7,500?
No, they split. There's revenue share opportunity.
Interesting.
If they sell my products, if they coach, if we use them to coach, they can make money. This is a way for them to make money.
I like the concept, by
Yep.
the way. I think your content is spot on. I think there are a lot of people out there. I've always loved, my favorite concept is always person of interest.
Yeah.
It's my favorite concept.
a
I mean,
big-
obviously, I love Pray Drive.
Yep.
But the person of interest is something that attracted me, and I'm pretty confident a lot of people
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, it's a big concept. And I think if you looked at my two biggest concepts, Pray Drive and Person of Interest are my two biggest concepts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have 100% agree with that. I think that's what, when I thought about how do I get closer to Coach Burt, it was like, man, I want to be a person of interest. I want to
Yeah.
stand out. I want to be somebody who's known in the world
Yeah.
for something big.
Yeah, that's
And-
right.
And that's
Me too.
well, you're doing it at a high level, man.
Yep.
You really are. You've killed it in a lot of ways. You inspire me, even though just for the audience, man, I've invested a lot of money
Yep.
and energy. But like you mentioned, because I did that, I paid attention.
That's right.
Okay. And I would say that a lot of people think about coaches as they've got to go just extract stuff out of them. And most of the coaches, including yourself, I mean, I can get a lot of your concepts pretty quickly over, let's say, six months. I can consume almost everything you've
Yep.
got. And the next thing is just keep on reference back to
Mastery.
it. Mastery of it. And then the second part of this is the network. You've helped me build a great network.
Yes. And to your credit, you've utilized the network. You've followed up. You've built partnerships. You've worked it. And a lot of people don't do that.
Well, I wasn't going to invest the money without doing it. That was the first thing. I know you told the story earlier. You said, David, he invested 40 grand when I asked
That's
for Tycoons.
That's right.
And when I told my wife, I said, hey, look, we're going to get it back.
Yeah.
There's no way we can't get this back. I said, if there's a group of people who have all committed $40,000,
Yep.
they're not people we don't want to know.
Right. 100%.
And I remember going our first trip, made it back.
Boom.
One transaction. I said,
There
Dave,
you
that's
go.
it. All right, we're good. Now
Yep.
we're even.
That's right. That's right.
Now it's positive from here.
Yeah. I love it. That's the mindset people should have. It is the learner's responsibility to extract maximum value from the instructor. If I create the network, it is the people in the network's responsibility to extract maximum value from that experience. Because I did my job. I created the network and I coach people, And it's like, hey, if you want to get more out of this, get in there and get involved in it. I could show you people who got in there, got involved in it, made millions of dollars with exchange with each other, and they learned. They didn't get in there for that reason. They got in it to learn, but like gravitate toward like.
Heck yeah. So what's the missing piece right now for you in the coaching program? Is there a part of the coaching program that we got to improve on that you feel like
I mean, I think right now I'm playing around with a high ticket concept, like a top 25, like a tycoon, like a inner mastermind with me, that kind of thing.
I think that would put some right people in the right place. I might come back for that.
I like that. There we go.
Hey,
there's my first member.
There you go. So we got two last questions.
Yeah.
We talked last week, and we've toyed around doing something together.
That's right.
From real estate to the Greatness Factory. What's your appetite right now? What do you, if you could get? Because I think of people seeing you.
Yep.
And they respect you, they admire what you're doing, they're really wanting to go deeper with you.
Yep.
And I think a lot of the people want to invest alongside with you.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you're missing.
That's a definite desire.
So what is the appetite?
Have a creative fund. I like Blue Marlin Capital or something like that, right?
Okay.
Or Monster Capital.
And do what?
That's the part that I'm always stuck on. Do we want to use it to own greatness factories and open up a fund where people can own a percentage of the greatness factory? Which a lot of people said, look, if you do that, I'll invest. I've had people say, if you go this route and you open up the greatness factory concept to be an investor, no different than we work.
Yeah.
I'm in because I believe in the concept. So that's really been my missing structure. Is like, okay, I believe we can raise capital. What do we do with it?
I like to
put it into Greatness Factory. Do we buy real estate? Do we and a lot of people do that, and I get that. It's money making. But could we do it in a meaningful way that funds Greatness Factories and expands the concept and make money along the way for people? Then that's probably something I'd be interested in.
I think that's a good start. I mean, we talked about this heavily. I think until obviously we said Greatness Factory, open this one. Let's prove the concept.
Yeah.
Let's make this one win, which I'm going to help support at a high level.
Yep.
Obviously, I want to make sure that that's because it is a great concept.
Yep.
I think it's, even from all the people I consulted with along the way to talk about the concept, they're like, man, that's just killer.
Yeah.
It's a great concept. So obviously, this has got to win.
Yep.
Would you be open to doing a real estate deal with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Multifamily?
Yeah, I'm open to that too.
There you go.
I'm looking just like everybody else for passive income.
Yeah.
I've been doing this. I've been coaching people for 31 years.
So
I've got some great, and I believe 100% in real estate. I love real estate.
We're in one of the nicest properties.
We're in a cool 8,000 square foot lodge that I love. I love it. I mean, I just can't tell you how happy I am when I'm here. And when people tell you that things can't make you happy, they're full of shit. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When I pull up to this lodge, I'm happy. When I'm at our condo in Nashville, overlooking the city, I'm happy. When we're at our house in Florida, I'm happy. At my personal home, these things can make you happy because they give you a sense of purpose. It's like this is good. I worked hard to have these things. Okay, and so I'm a big believer in real estate and inspiration. Inspirational things happen in inspirational places. It's where inspiration meets execution. That's a tagline for the Greatness Factory. Inspiration meets execution. We don't just want inspiration. Well, real estate, when I go to apartment complexes that I love, the 505 is a multi-unit place.
Yeah.
It's a high-end multifamily.
Very high-end.
But it's got X number of units. People love it there. It's incredible. See, that inspires me.
Well, I'd love to do a deal with you, and I think maybe we could just kind of solidify this at some level so our audience, if they want to invest alongside you, we'll have something real soon.
Yeah, where they can invest.
We'll identify something, because I know you want something nice. When I thought about it, I was like, Coach Burt likes really nice, sexy things.
That's right.
Yeah. So I can't bring him a C property.
That's right. I wouldn't be. There's certain things that do not interest me, even if they make money. Now, people watching this may think I'm crazy, but it's hard for me to get excited about something.
Well, I agree with you.
Like I can get excited about buying a retreat center that cash flows. I can get excited about buying beautiful multi-level family. I can get excited about greatness factories. It's hard for me to get excited about certain properties. I'm like,
no, I just
don't do it.
I get you. Well, I get it, because you're actually selling something, and you got to sell with conviction.
That's right.
And you got no conviction for it. It's hard. It's
100%.
like, it's a good idea. You should do it. It makes money. Or it's, man, you got to see this. There's a difference between what you say.
Ziegler used to say, if you don't buy the cookware, you can't sell the cookware.
That's right. Well, you got to buy your own product.
And that's why a lot of people struggle, man. You know, they don't believe in it enough to sell it. So
Yeah.
I got to believe, and when I believe in it, I can sell with the best of people in the world. I'm 100% convinced that if I believe in something, I can sell with the best people in the world.
I actually can see that in
Yep.
you. And you're the only coach that I've ever seen that does exactly what they say they're going to
Yeah.
do. You're the
Yeah.
only guy I know. I mean, I haven't followed tons of people, but you see people, if you call them, you talk to this person, do
Yeah.
that. You're like, no, I'm going to initiate this. You
That's
know,
right.
I've seen you. I saw you pull out your credit card reader one day, and you're like, no, we got you right here. And it was because somebody was ready to commit.
Yeah.
You had something you could offer them
Yep.
that could solve a problem, and you
Yeah.
said, you don't need to talk to my team. I'm right here.
I'll do it right here.
I'll do it right here. But
right.
it's because it's a high level of conviction.
That's
It
right.
wasn't for money.
That's right.
I mean, the money is part of the transaction, but it's a service of both sales.
Yeah.
I know it is.
And you need the money to do bigger things. I just told you the Greatness Factory budget's $1.2 million over. It was 3.6 million for the building, $1.6 million to $2 million for the build out, just to get it going. That don't count the taxes, the insurance, the whatever else comes along
So we
with
spent
it.
the money in the room today.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the truth is you need the money to fuel the dream. And until you get that, that's why I ask people, are you making enough money to fulfill your purpose? If you got a big purpose, you need a lot more money. And that's why you got to do the things I'm teaching.
All right. Last question, Coach. What does build your own economy mean to you?
Never place your destiny in somebody else's hands. Use your skill, your knowledge, your skills to create financial freedom for yourself. And as long as there's problems and as long as there's ambitions, there will always be ways to generate income. Build your own economy is using your knowledge and your skills and your desires and your habits to solve problems for other people and help them with their ambitions. And there'll always be money available to you if you just get that concept.
Amazing. That was really well said. Maybe I'll copy that. I know, right? Mic drop.
Boom.
All right. Well, Coach, this has been fun, man.
Thank you for coming to Tennessee and doing this. You didn't have to. I know you've been in town. I know you guys have been speaking, and
we wanted to see
means
you,
the
man.
world to me.
No, we enjoy you, man. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Coach. Thank you.
Love you guys.